highest of highs, lowest of lows. Went out on Wednesday, and I'd been talking about it. I think our team's been building towards the ability to play really good volleyball for 2.5 hours, and I thought we did that against a really good Florida team, and came out with a 3-2 victory over the number 4 team in the country. And on the flip side of that, just we got to, again, flex that muscle of being able to do that for every practice and every match that we play now. And we turned around against Missouri. And my hat's off to them. They played out of their minds and played a really, really good volleyball match. But the thing I'm most disappointed in is I thought we got outworked. And that's going to be a piece of what our program is. So my hope is that's the last time that happens for the rest of the season. So, again, excited about where we're at. I think when I took over this program, I didn't think in year one we'd be in the spot where we're capable of competing at the top of the SEC. And this group has surprised me every single day. We just got to keep pushing the envelope.
We'll get started back behind the lights on the right side to Ben.
Coach, in your experience, what does it do for you guys or your players to be able to build their confidence instead of a confidence in internal faith, and maybe we haven't seen that breakthrough win? That Florida match could have easily gone the other way. To have at least something where you see it through validation, like how differently can that translate through, I guess, just over the course of things, confidence-wise?
Yeah, again, if I have an assistant coaching opening, I'm giving you a call. That's the exact conversation we had when we sat down and watched video after that. It was, hopefully this validates the work put in. And it doesn't mean that we're there. And again, this is the lesson that we needed to learn. It just validates that the way that we were working, the way that we were getting after our opponents, the way that we were practicing, and I got a lot of head nods when we had that conversation. But again, I think where this group needs to learn is that has to happen every single day, not just the lead up to Florida, not just in the Florida match, but we talked in the locker room about the only thing that's earned us is the fact that everybody else is going to come at us harder because we're not sneaking up on anybody from here on out in the rest of the season. So yeah, I think it validated it. I hope this sends the message of, hey, like a little bit of a humbling experience that we need to grind and we need to work every single day. But yeah, I think they know we're on the right path.
We'll stay on TV row and go to the left side to Donna and then Travis.
Coach, as you've had these big moments like taking down a Florida this early in your time here, how have the expectations for this group just continued to evolve throughout the season?
Yeah, it's been the interesting thing. And I remember playing Arkansas, and they flipped a little bit in that because I went into that match being like, man, I'm just not sure we're there yet. I thought we would get there, and I didn't know if it'd be this season. And in the middle of that match, the expectations kind of changed because I'm like, we're good enough to beat this team. I just don't know if we're mentally strong enough to do what we need to do for the length of period that we need to do it. So they've proven in that match and then in the Florida match that, hey, we're capable of staying in that for 2.5 hours. And again, now it's just that idea of flexing that just a little bit more. So I think it's confidence that we're able to do it. But I think the work ethic of kind of what we need to do every single day in practice in order to do it every day in order to go win an SEC championship, that's the piece where that muscle needs to grow now. But going back to, again, they feel like they're on the right path. I think they're capable of beating everybody. I think they know that, but hopefully they know now that we're capable of losing to anybody as well.
We'll go one more on TV row in the middle to Tyler and then to Travis.
Coach, with the 3-match road trip coming up, what are you kind of looking for the team, and I guess what are you anticipating to learn about them coming off Missouri and then three road trips?
Yeah, I don't think it's the road trip necessarily. I think it's the lead up to it. Like, I hope that we come in at practice tomorrow and we're hungry to work our butts off. That we're business-like in everything that we do, so that includes all of practice, and that includes the way that we travel. That includes when we get there. And I've talked to them a lot about the resources that are poured into this school, that are poured into our athletic department, that are poured into our program, and that when we go on the road, it's almost like we're on a military mission. That like they're paying for us to go do something, and we need to make sure we go out there and we deliver on that. So I hope that everything that we do this week is about grinding, about going hard, about working every single day of practice, and then the same thing when we get there, when we get into video, being dialed in about this is what we need to do to beat Ole Miss, this is what we need to do to beat Mississippi State, and then turning around and doing it, and outworking every single opponent that we have on the court from here on out until eternity. So
we'll go front row on the right side to Travis.
With an attacking philosophy that's for your hitters kind of swinging for the fences, no bunts, is that a a good selling point for attackers, something that they have a lot of fun with, that's kind of the game that they want to play?
Yeah, I think so. I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to give our athletes is freedom to take risks. I came from an extreme sports background when I was younger, and just that, I don't know, model of we're going to celebrate the fact that people mess up, that they go big, that they're trying to, I don't know, further the sport in some way, shape, or form. I think it's freeing for athletes to be like, hey, like I am completely free to go out and not necessarily swing for the fences. Like we talk about being a Grafe that's aggressive and safe all at the same time, and finding that thin line between reckless and aggressive. But I think the freedom that they have to kind of go off and, hey, like we're allowed to go be aggressive in this changes the mindset of our athletes quite a bit. It seemed to work well recruiting wise too. So yeah, I think the players buy into that.
We'll go back to TV row on the right side to Ben.
I got to follow up. So extreme sports, what are we talking about? Like, are we doing like motocross? Like,
No, I think the sport I'm best at in the world is probably snowboarding. I grew up inline skating. A little bit of skateboarding, but I wasn't as good at that. And I showed during camp. I don't know if anybody else from this generation comes from the Tony Hawk generation, but I show often our athletes I think it was the 2099 X Games where he pulled off the first 900. And I'd still get chills as I think about it. Just like his time ran out on best trick, and he just kept going at the 900, and every single competitor was banging their skateboard trying to get him to go do it. And every single person, every single time he fell, like every fan was going crazy. And it was just the most celebration I've ever seen towards failure in my entire life, but it was just a celebration of going big. And that's just stayed with me in a lot of different ways. And I don't know, like all sorts of stuff. The other side of it is just, you look at what Red Bull's doing for extreme sports athletes and trying to make them uncomfortable by dropping them in the middle of a rainforest, and just their comfort with discomfort is above any other sport in the world. And I think it's something we can all learn from.
Anything else? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.